making money, that's great. And it opens up a lot of opportunities. Let's not deny that, but it's not the purpose of being a human being.
How's it going? I'm Justin Khan from Justin.tv.
All right, here we got one from Naval. How to get rich without getting lucky. It might be the all-time greatest tech tweet storm. 61,400 retweets. That's a lot. The like counter just went up. This is a 3-year-old tweet, and the like counter just went up while I've been watching it. So how to get rich without getting lucky. It's what everyone wants to know in America, right? They want to know how to get paid, and they want to know systematically how to do it, because sometimes people get lucky and then they try to say that that's like they planned it all along, but they really got lucky. To be honest, I think everybody who is rich, there was some component of luck. I mean, you might be just lucky to be born in America, right? And it's important to recognize that. For me, I was lucky to even be in the right place at the right time where I could learn how to program, or be educated by my parents, or get to Silicon Valley at this place where there was an inflection point happening. So you got to recognize that luck is going to play into every person's success story, and you can't optimize for luck. So if you're out there saying, oh, well, he just got lucky, so I'm not lucky, so I'm not going to do it. Well, you can make all the other factors, like your decision making, how you approach figuring out what to work on. All of those things are under your control. And so, while luck is a part of it, there's also a part that's not luck. And that's the part you should focus on optimizing. All right. So labor means people working for you. It's the oldest and most fought over form of leverage. It's going to impress your parents, but don't waste your life chasing it. What's he mean? There's all these high prestige jobs like doctor, lawyer, engineer, etc., where basically you are a form of labor, and you might get paid a very high hourly rate, but you won't have leverage because it's just based on your time. Like if you want to earn your $1,000 an hour rate, you got to work 1 hour, right? Like capital is where it's at, is what Naval is saying here. Capital and labor are permissioned leverage. Everyone is chasing capital, but someone has to give it to you. Everyone's trying to lead, but someone has to follow you. So what does that mean? Well, even if you have capital, you don't have leverage unless you find ways to deploy it, and that involves people, opting in to like working on your business, etc. Code and media are permissionless leverage. They're leverage behind the newly rich. You can create software and media that works for you while you sleep. So what does that mean? Well, some of the most valuable companies in the world are technology companies, right? And media companies. And why are they so valuable? You create it once and it scales infinitely, right? So if media, you create like, I'm going to create this YouTube video, and then people will watch it on YouTube, and it doesn't cost anything for more and more people to watch it. Imagine I had to have those conversations one-on-one with people. Like I have way more leverage than I could with my own time. Same is true of code, right? You write a piece of software, you roll it out, like millions of people can use it. And you don't need anyone's permission, just put it on the internet, and then the market decides for itself. An army of robots is freely available. It's packed into data centers, and right. So like basically the internet is a robot army that will work for you. If you can't code, write books and blogs, record videos and podcasts. Basically like, your media is your leverage. If you can't code, media is your leverage. Leverage is a force multiplier for your judgment. Basically, if you make right decisions, have good judgment on what people want, then your leverage from media or, capital or code or whatever multiplies your effect. Judgment requires experience, but can be built faster by learning foundational skills. So this is interesting because a lot of people think judgment requires experience, right? Like they want to invest in experience. Basically what Naval is saying is like, you got to learn to do things yourself. If you learn to do things yourself, that's like the fastest way to understand the world. And I found that to be true. Like when I was just starting off, we were building Kiko, my very first company. We got in there, programmed it all ourselves, and really understood what the possibilities were, right? Especially with complex applications on the web. This was back in 2006. And that allowed us to create Twitch because we had the experience of understanding web applications, how they could be built, what was possible with technology, which gave us the judgment to create this new form of social app. There's no skill called business. Avoid business magazines and business classes. 100% agree with that. Business, it's really a intersectional skill set that involves psychology and marketing. It involves engineering, involves finance. It's combining all of these different skills. And the way you learn it is by diving in and doing it. Okay, study microeconomics, game theory, psychology, persuasion, ethics, mathematics, and computers. Yeah, basically what I said. Reading is faster than listening. Doing is faster than watching. Doing is faster than watching, yes. You're out there probably watching my YouTube video because you want some sort of edge in your career or business, startup, whatever, which is great, but like the best thing to do is not watch my videos, is get out there and do stuff. All right. You should be too busy to do coffee while keeping an uncluttered calendar. If you are really working on your thing, you should focus on your thing and like don't worry about casual networking, right? You want to have a goal, shoot towards your goal. Set and enforce an aspirational personal hourly rate. If fixing a problem will save you less than your hourly rate, ignore it. If outsourcing a task will cost less than your hourly rate, outsource it. So this is a good idea because it puts you in the context of saying, hey, what can I outsource to someone else? And so I can focus on whatever's most important and most impactful to me. The point of this conversation is like how to get rich, which is interesting because a lot of people want it. But and this is true if you're trying to get rich and have the most leverage. This is true. Eventually, you do get rich, and then you're like, well, maybe having my maximum hourly rate is not the most important thing. And what I'd love to do is cook a meal for my family because it gives me great joy. That's tangential, orthogonal to money. For a certain segment of people in a certain mental headspace, you're trying to get rich. So let's go. You're not going to do that. You're going to outsource it, right? Work as hard as you can, even though who you work with and what you work on are more important than how you work. That's super true. What you work on and who you work with are more important than how hard you work, right? You could have worked on Ethereum and worked not very hard, but bought at the right time and probably been super rich. But hard work is important because when you have no skills, hard work is all you have. It's the only leverage you have. Become the best in the world at what you do. Keep redefining what you do until this is true. I think this one really resonates with me because for me, I have always wanted to be the best, but I haven't been for sure. When we started off and I was programming, I was far from the best programmer. I probably wasn't even the top 2 quartiles, to be honest. And then, as an entrepreneur, was I, the best in the world? No, for sure. I wasn't focused enough. I probably wasn't as smart as other people, not as strategic. So even though we were successful, I have friends, Dropbox, Airbnb, Coinbase, much more successful than me. But I've kind of redefined what I do even further to be like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur that creates content and invests. And I have created an intersection where I probably am like, after Gary Pan, like one of the best. Like it's, I have constantly figured out what is my edge, what am I excited about, what's my passion, and narrowed until I really found it. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. There's just someone else getting rich off of you. This has been covered a lot, especially recently. Go to CoffeeZilla's YouTube and you'll see a ton of people who are trying to get rich off of you. When you're finally wealthy, you'll realize it wasn't what you were seeking in the first place, but that's for another day. I mean, that's basically what my whole story is about. The Quest podcast is about. This YouTube channel is about. It's like making money. That's great. And it opens up a lot of opportunities. Let's not deny that. But it's not the purpose of being a human being. All right. That was the video. I hope you liked it. Let us know what you think about this format, me reacting to shit. It doesn't necessarily have to be startup stuff in the future. It could be, anything. And I will see you guys next time.